Hey all, here OS Reviews. About 2 years ago, we did a review on the UC-T8s, which were these inexpensive dual-driver earbuds. They were really popular and kind of sparked a boom in having multi-driver designs in earbuds. The argument was because earbuds typically have really small drivers, usually produces quite thin, closed off sound. So by having multiple drivers be responsible for different segments of sound, perhaps one dedicated to bass, one for mids, one for highs, you can technically get a more full, detailed, and powerful sound than you would otherwise achieve. So today we're taking a look at their DT800s, which are quad driver earbuds. So you get a combined total of 8 drivers, 4 on the left, 4 on the right. Still retains the same aesthetics as the original T8s from 2 years back, kind of hints at there are multiple drivers inside. These earbuds are high-res certified, and they also are the cheapest quad driver earphones on the market. You can find them for under $60, sometimes goes on sale for as low as $50, which is just a fraction of the price that you would pay for one Moore's quad drivers, which sells for $200. Now it comes in 3 different colors. There is a red edition that we have here, there is also a black edition, and there's even a transparent white. This model does have a built-in mic and controls for skipping tracks and adjusting the volume, which is good to see. As far as the drivers, we have 2 dynamic and 2 balanced armatures. Now, as we alluded to in another review of a multi-driver setup, having more drivers sometimes improve the audio quality, but it's not going to be necessarily a linear or exponential increase in quality. For example, it doesn't mean that a quad driver pair of earphones are going to sound 4 times better than a single driver pair. You will notice some differences, but as more and more drivers are pushed in, it becomes less and less obvious. There is kind of a cutoff point where I personally think the earphones themselves already sound quite good. So going forwards, again, it would be pretty ridiculous if they just kept on increasing the number. And so sliding open the sleeve, we have the cardboard box inside. Opens up in a very deluxe way. It says thank you in a very large text, and also a detailed color guide of the earphones. There are silicone tips inside. They're in 2 different styles, a bullet and a bowl style that can change the sound quality a little bit more. We have another kind of tissue paper that has the company's logo on it. And finally, we have the earbuds themselves inside of a hard carrying case, which is a pretty nice touch. Then there's the aforementioned tips, which are all in this one bag, which you can adjust to get a more snug fit. Taking a closer look at the design, the construction quality here is made out of polycarbonate plastic, as well as some rubber accents on the micro wings, preventing these from falling out even if you are moving around. And overall, they feel quite secure in my testing. As a quick size comparison, here it is next to the aforementioned T8s, and we can see that overall dimensions are about the same, and the weight is also really not changed too much compared to what we saw before. And then moving past the earbuds themselves, we have the aforementioned inline remote with the microphone, and on the top here we have the keys, including a play pause button and also volume adjustments. Then we simply have the 3.5mm headphone jack, which is gold plated, with the plug connector being constructed out of aluminum. Moving into performance and audio quality, overall the DT800s don't disappoint. The sound profile here is really satisfying just because nothing is overpowering. There's a nice presence of punch in the bass when you're listening to drum beats and lower frequencies, but at the same time you get a pleasant mix of mids and highs. Vocals are also really clean, and you can even hear the breathiness if you're listening to an acoustic track. It's just a very smooth sounding pair of earbuds in general that makes almost any genre, any track listened to sound very pleasant. You can watch movies, you can listen to music for extended periods of time, and it still just sounds really comfortable. With that being said, compared to even more expensive earphones, namely the One More triple and quad drivers, one slight downside of the UC DT800s is just like the T8s from before, they aren't necessarily the cleanest sounding earphones in the world. What I mean by that is if you plug it in, you can still hear a little bit of distortion if you strain your ears and listen really closely. So there's an ever so faint hiss or a slight hum in the background, perhaps caused by the wire or some type of interference. It's extremely faint, and it's actually much smaller and much fainter than what you'll find on wireless Bluetooth earbuds, but it's still notable. It's not completely silent, but once you play the music, it quickly kind of fades out and never becomes too distracting, but that's perhaps the only con that I could find. It is a slightly more warmer in terms of the tone, which makes the music sound very expressive, but it's not quite as perhaps cold or exactly neutral. But as a result, I actually prefer the sound on these for most kind of pop music, in addition to just watching videos with, just because everything just sounds so alive. They get pleasantly loud, and it almost feels like you're wearing large over-the-ear style headphones at certain points, giving you a much more more open sound than what's typically found on earbuds, which provides a satisfying listening experience where you can hear all the different layers and distinct separation between various instruments going on in a track. Compared with the T8s side by side, I think that these are definitely an upgrade. The T8s, although they sounded already really good for the price, are definitely even more warmer, and they don't have quite as much distinction and separation between some of the details, and sometimes suppressing some of the details, especially with trebles. So a great design overall, and I would say again improved sound quality compared to some of the past models we've tried. With that being said, if you are an owner of UC's triple driver system, I would say that this might not be the biggest upgrade over, but compared to the dual driver T8s, I would say it is something that you can feel the difference between in a comparison. So overall, I think they are definitely worthwhile if you're looking for an affordable pair of hi-fi grade earbuds, especially for casual music listening, as well as for kind of using every day. So you can check out more details in the links down below if you are interested, but for now, that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That's been the UC DT800s quad driver earbuds.